We are back with another session of Evolve with Paperclip. Let's dive right in.
So let's unlock some hidden opportunities for business, product, and service success. To give you an overview, in this session, we'll be covering some basic questions about what is UX audit, why to do it, when to conduct it, as well as how it can be effectively carried out, and even how it helps different personas. So, in a gist, a UX audit is a comprehensive evaluation of a digital product or service, be it a website, application, or platform, aimed to identify usability issues and opportunities for enhancing the user experience. Now, an audit typically involves analyzing the user interaction, basically, how the product is helping users interact, as well as reviewing the design elements, that how different elements are coming together to create an experience for the users, as well as also assessing overall functionality to ensure the alignment of both business goals and product goals with the user's need. So, if we take an example from a real world scenario, it can be more like consulting a doctor, because whenever we are feeling unwell, we go to a doctor. And what a doctor does is that they listen to us, they observe our symptoms, and they conduct some tests on our symptoms to validate their observations. And accordingly, they prescribe the right medication or remedy for improvement. So similarly, we as designers, we delve into the product, we understand it, analyze data, analyze user behavior, and on the basis of that, we identify the issues, the usability issues, and communicate the areas of improvement. And you know what? We all subconsciously diagnose the errors that we face while using any service. You don't believe me? Let me ask you this. What are some of the common frustrations you have while using any digital product? So, before you start responding, let me give you some examples. Let's say there are too many steps in a task that can make it a frustrating journey for the users. Or it could also be that there are too many informations in the screen that is making users struggle to find the specific information that they need to look at. So now let's hear your thoughts on what are some of the common frustrations that you have faced while using any digital product. Feel free to comment in the chat box so that we can know your responses.
You can also unmute yourself and just chip in wherever. So it's not about just any specific issues. Maybe you just opened any app, maybe just a 5 minutes ago, or maybe during the day. There might be something which might have struck out to you, and then you feel like, this is not going properly. We have a few answers. Aman says that sometimes there are too many animations and things going all over the place. Maybe that distracts anybody a lot.
Hmm.
Natasha also mentions that in a lot of websites, they asked way too many questions when applying for jobs.
Okay.
What did you apply to a job? Rasik mentions that there's a lot of information overload sometimes.
Okay.
Suchit mentioned that sometimes a few things are too lengthy to fill up. Maybe they might not be even required to.
Mm-hmm.
Star mentions unable to navigate sometimes. That is also one of the most common issues which a lot of products or services face.
Mm-hmm.
Suchis also mentioned that many of the things are not keyboard accessible. So that is a new and upcoming thing as well, which people might not realize its importance, but definitely it is.
Right. So, see, told ya, we all recognize all the issues that we face while like that impacts our user experience as well as user engagement with the product. So, with all this, now that we know what a UX audit is, let's dive into the why part of it. So, a UX audit on an overall level should be conducted to ensure a smooth business growth and a more satisfying user experience. Let's also look at some of the possible reasons to conduct a UX audit. So, when conducted a UX audit, it helps us identify the factors that may be preventing users from completing their tasks. For example, it could be confusing interface or ineffective action items, or it could also be lack of flexibility. Another reason could be that a UX audit always helps in validating if the product aligns with business goals or not. And it also allows us to assess whether the user experience is optimized for meeting the key performance indicators like conversion rate or user engagement or user intent as well. And another reason could be that through a UX audit, we can pinpoint some of the areas where user may be feeling frustrated or confused in the user journey, or where the user journeys lack flexibility or intuitiveness. So this creates an opportunity to discover the issues and help us create more smooth and or pleasant user experience. Another reason could also be that conducting a UX audit provides platform technical performance insights like page loading time, responsiveness, mobile friendliness, which further helps us gain some insights about the technical issues that the users might be facing and enhance in the technology as well to ensure that the overall user experience is smooth. Another reason could also be that when a UX audit is combined with data analytics, it helps us avoid subjective design decision and make sure that the changes that are made are based on the observed interactions as well as analyzed data, which creates and gives us a more informed, streamlined, and data driven decision. So now that we have looked at all the possible reasons to conduct a UX audit, let's also see that how we can identify usability issues. So let's play a game and let's awaken our inner designers to identify some key issues. So for this examples that I am going to show now on will just help you understand through this example that how you can find out some issues, and then we'll provide couple of examples to for you to discover some issues and just jump in and make this session an interactive point. So the first example that you can see over here is a mail.online UK's newspaper website. And here we can see that there is too much to look at in the screen, and which creates a visual clutter. And even it is hard to recognize that what is clickable over here and what is not clickable over here. And even if we see this search function over here, user need to carefully operate this function as there are couple of operations present within it. So this is how we can find out some of the usability or some of the issues at a glance. And let's see what you can find over here in this example. To give you more context before you dive into the analysis and respond to this for this example, this is a Blinky.com, an e-commerce platform for Blinky Sparky stuffs, uh, basically used for home decor. So yeah, let's see what we can find over here, and you can start responding, and you can you can try to identify any issue that you find out over here.
That's definitely a very blinky Christmas.
Yeah.
So whenever we are even looking at, so it's audits are not just for websites, it could be for any platform as well. So even while we are doing audit, also consider about looking at different device types. You could also check it for mobiles, desktop, tablets, small screen, big screens, and everywhere. So we are having some answers.
Hmm.
Moxie, I didn't forget you this time. Moxie says that the readability on the phone and the email is definitely not there. Anushka mentioned the CTA is invisible as well. and there's no clear action or even a user path. So even in UX audits, it's not just about the visual aspect, but also about the about the whole journey or whole the user of workflow would be as well. So just we can keep that in mind. Natasha also mentions that there are no proper headlines, no subtext, and overcrowded images, and it's definitely not clear what to do next. And even Natasha has mentioned that the contact details are definitely not readable. Of course, if you can't connect to them, how are they going to get some business?
Okay.
The information hierarchy went for a Christmas holiday. Yes, definitely so now. Natasha also mentions one interesting point that the order of nav element feels wrong. You have your account first, checkout, and then you have everything else. That's a interesting catch.
Right. Right. So all the observations that you have done so far is absolutely right. We can see over here that these are not, like, not readable, even not visible. Even there are no proper clear action. Even the hierarchy is missing over here. And even there is like overlapping and visual clutter, like not sure what to do over here. So yeah, we are going good so far. Let's also look at one example of a well-known platform of Amazon e-commerce, and let's see what we can also find over here.
Let's do the exercise again.
Yeah, let's do the exercise.
Moxie mentions cognitive overload. Hi, Moxie. It's a $1 billion page. Aman mentions that. The $1 billion sales with $1 billion issues.
Mhm.
I think most of us would have used a lot of these e-commerce platforms.
Right,
Natasha also mentions that she does not know what to expect when I click on the side arrows.
right, right. So yeah, here also we are going in the right direction. That there is a lot of visual clutter, cognitive load, as Moxie mentioned, and yeah, even there is a lot going on. We don't know what to expect over here. And even one more thing is that there are a lot of navigation items over here as well. So yeah, as also Paddy mentioned that uh, through these examples we are looking at just the interface, but in actual scenario, UX audit is not only about looking at the interface, but it is also about looking at the whole user journey and identifying the issues in their journey. Let's say for an e-commerce platform, we can consider a journey of buying something. So while they are looking at a product, while they are adding it to the cart, while they are checking out for the same product, is one of the journey that we could consider. And looking to their whole this journey and identifying issues is also one thing that is considered in the UX audit, as it says user experience audit. And even it doesn't limit only to UI and UX, but it can also go further. For example, it can also include some marketing pages, or how the product or company is marketing about their product outside, and what is the user's experience from that outside source till they land on the product, is also something which can be considered in a UX audit. So, with this insight, now that we have learned how to find some issues, and we have also looked into some of the reasons to conduct a UX audit, let's move on to one of the most frequently asked questions, which is when to conduct a UX audit. So, let's look at some of the instances where conducting a UX audit could be beneficial. So, first, we'll be starting with after 1 or 1.5 year, like around product launch, can be a valuable time to conduct a UX audit, as it helps in validating if the product aligns ab- like if the product still aligns with the business objectives or user needs or not. And it also helps us ensure that if the product can adapt to near future technical or market changes or not. Because when a product is launched in the market, it undergoes real world usage, which may show us some revealing patterns that we might have missed during the design or development phase. Another reason or another possible instance could be before major redesign, because a UX audit can be a cost effective way to find out the areas of opportunities before investing into expensive redesign, because fixing usability issues helps in reducing the chances of losing customers, as well as it also helps in preventing future costly problems. And another thing which it also helps us prevent is the repeating design mistakes that can happen. And another instance could also be before scaling to a new market, because through a UX audit, we can identify that whether the product or the experience is optimal for the diverse audience type or not. Even when getting a declined user engagement, conversion rate, or retention rate, doing a UX audit can help us discover the root causes for the same. And this is also one of the most important times to consider a UX audit, when you're receiving consistent negative feedback or frustration from a product experience point of view. A UX audit can help you discover the users' frictions in their user journey. So, with all these ideal times to conduct a UX audit, let's also look at how an audit can be effectively carried out. So, to conduct a UX audit, here we are talking about a comprehensive UX audit. When we have like time and like when we have enough amount of bandwidth and time with us. So, to conduct a comprehensive UX audit, consider like doing it in four phases: research, analyze, audit, and document. So, to gain deep understanding about the product, its market positioning, and mission and vision, begin with researching on its industry, business goal, product objectives, as well as unique selling propositions. And you can gather these initial data from the stakeholders. Now, the stakeholders here can be the CEO, the business team, product team, or sales and marketing team as well. And even you can also do some research online to get a comprehensive understanding of the product. Now, once a solid understanding is developed about the product, transition to analysis phase, which is further classified into competitive analysis and data analysis. Now, competitive analysis over here helps us identify that where the product falls short compared to the competition, and it also provides an overall valuable insights on how to improve, because a well-designed user experience serves as a key differentiator in the market, and understanding a competition can be crucial for staying ahead. Even competitive analysis always helps us consider users' mental model, as it helps us understand that what are some of the behaviors that users have already adapted through different platforms. And if you're wondering that how to know about competition, you can directly ask the stakeholders, or you could also do some quick research online through resources like Traction, G2.com, or even similar web. So now that we know about competitive analysis, let's play a game again and let's guess some competitors, starting with Amazon e-commerce platform. So again, feel free to drop in the comment box or unmute yourself to respond.
Moxie mentions one of the competitor for Amazon could be Flipkart.
Hmm.
You could guess two, three, as many. One another response is Walmart.
Okay.
Swiggy for Amazon. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Misho for Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Kit for Amazon. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can
Yeah.
continue.
Okay. So yeah, Flipkart is correct. Another is also JioMart, and Blinkit and Swiggy are, yeah, they are also competitors in Amazon's like grocery section. So yeah, all of the answers are absolutely correct. So let's move on to another company, which is LinkedIn, the e-learning platform. Sorry, not e-learning. Sorry,
Job portals.
job board.
So I think it has also evolved a lot over time.
Yeah,
We have Naukri, obviously the OG,
yeah.
in peer list, Apna.
Mm-hmm.
Thing. You might also find names which you might not even heard about.
Yeah.
Well found, Monster.com, Alma Connect, Hearst. There are a lot of competitors which everybody's already looking into.
Right, right. Right, so we are absolutely correct about all of them, and even Indeed, Glassdoor are some other ones. And let's look into our last guest competitor, Coursera. That is e-learning platform for sure.
We have Udemy, Unacademy, Domestika,
Mm-hmm.
edX.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be a lot.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, LinkedIn Learning. Yeah, even that's
Yes.
coming in that. Evolve.
Hmm. Yeah. Evolve is the major one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to trying to break the boundaries.
Yeah. So yeah, Udemy, Skillshare, edX, Evolve, and yeah, it goes on and LinkedIn Learning as well. So it's good to see that we are logged in the process. So yeah, once the competitive analysis is done, uh, consider delving into data analytics with the help of analytical tools like Google Analytics, Hotjar, MS Clarity, and Joule to gain platform performance insight. And data analytics also allows us to identify key areas of improvement and aligning the product more closely to its promises and in enhancing the user experience. Now, adding a little more detail over here, because this is also one of the major steps while conducting an audit. When you are trying to figure out the product performance, you can look into the user engagement and behavior section, which is basically the acquisition report. Basically, it helps us understand about the new users, existing users, returning users, and active users through for a specific period of time. And it also helps us understand that what are some of the top sources that are driving users to the product. And you can find this in user engagement and behavior information in Google Analytics, Hotjar, and MS Clarity as well. Now, another section which you could also look into is the engagement with different pages, which helps us understand that what are most common, sorry, what are some of the top engaging pages, as well as how long are users engaging with each of these different pages. And again, figure you can figure out these data in Google Analytics, Hotjar, and even MS Clarity. Now, moving on to certain important sections over here. uh, One is funnel exploration, which helps us understand that how how is the user behavior in the user journey at different stages. For example, if we talk about again e-commerce, buying something from the e-commerce platform, a funnel exploration can help us understand the conversion rates and drop off rates at each stage of the user journey, be it searching for a product, be it clicking at the product page, be it adding it to that cart, or be it checkout. So it helps us understand the conversion and drop off at each stage, as well as it also gives us the overall conversion rate for different processes that we look into. And funnel exploration, again, you can find it in Google Analytics and Joule. And further, you can explore path exploration, which gives an overall picture for any specific page that you consider as a starting point. Because path exploration helps us understand that what are some of the different paths that users are taking from a specific page, and it also helps us understand that how many users are dropping off from the initial starting point, and how many users are going forward to different paths and then even dropping off in between as well. Again, path exploration is something which is available in Google Analytics. Now, further looking into another sections from the analytical tools can be heat map, which is available in MS Clarity and Hotjar, which helps us understand and figure out the top clicks in different pages, as well as it also helps us discover some of the rage clicks, dead clicks, and misclicks in different pages. And it also helps us identify that till what point of the product page are the users are scrolling across different pages. And lastly, but this is also one of the most important sections to consider, is screen recordings. So screen recordings, like looking at the screen recordings for different users, different time zones, and even for different personas, can help you understand user behaviors, as well as identify the friction points in the user flow to further take decisions and identify the areas of improvement. So with all of these, once sufficient data is gathered, begin your audit. And you can, like, this is the audit process where you can identify the issue and then map it with laws and severity and then support. But even before going in this flow, you need to identify the user journeys that from the scope of audit, and then identify the steps that that are needed to complete that user journey. And once you have identified the user flows that need to be audited and the steps involved in it, start by observing each user flow from screen to screen. And while you're observing, make sure that you do it with both user's perspective as well as design's perspective, while keeping the biases aside. So now that you're observing each of the screens, identify the usability issues and map each of these issues with established laws and principles. And while you're also mapping the issues with the laws, do assign a severity level, which will help you understand that what is the seriousness of the identified issue. And do capture the screenshots or the pages where you have find out the issues, so that you can help so that it can help you communicate the issues more properly. And while we are also observing the issues and mapping them with laws and principles, support your observation with the data uh, discovered in the analysis phase. So I know this can be a bit overwhelming. So we'll also look at a live session, like we'll also look at a live example soon in this session. But when we talk about mapping issues with the laws, the laws and principles that you could consider could be Nielsen Norman's usability heuristics, which you could use as base. So there are 10 usability heuristics which you could use as your base laws and principles while conducting an audit. And let me also give you an example of some of them. So for example, the first law says visibility of system status, which which goes as the system should always keep the user informed about what's going on in the platform with a timely and appropriate feedback. Another could be user control and freedom, which goes as that the user should not feel stuck at any point of time. They should be always supported with an exit point, so that their experience is not broken in the middle. And with the Nelson Norman heuristics, you can also support your observations with certain visual design principles like contrast or spacing or etc. And you can also gather some other UX laws and principles uh, that aligns with the scope of audit through online resources. One of the resources could be growth.design, which is a very good resource, and it helps us understand and stay up to date to all the UX laws and principles. So while you are also assigning the severity level that we saw over here with all the observations, you could consider catastrophic, severe, and minor as the severity level. Now, catastrophic here being the issue that prevents user from completing their task, basically something that creates a dead end. And severe issue could be something that wastes user time or increase their learning curve or even increase the error rate, something that makes the flow less intuitive. And when we talk about minor issues, it could be some minor cosmetic and consistency issues that slows user down, basically something which can also be resolved quickly with some quick fixes. And with all the observations, supporting them with relevant analytical data can play a key role in validating the issues and providing a deeper insights into our finding. So, for example, for the data that you can support your observation with could be percentage of usage or percentage of conversion, percentage of drop off. Even it could be average engagement time that you have discovered during the analysis phase. And to give you an example, here is also a funnel data where we can see that, as mentioned earlier, funnel exploration gives us drop offs and conversions at each stage of the user flow. And it also gives us an overall completion rate for that particular user journey, as well as also provides average engagement time that it took for user to complete the whole journey. So, yeah, with all of this, uh, you with all of this you can get like an impactful audit, audit documentation. And let's also look at a live example to understand it more clearly. So again, coming back to an Amazon's example, this is an instance where the user has searched for paperclip keyword and has applied some filter. So before starting to pinpoint some of the issues, let's look into the screen and let's see how it looks. So let's scroll down a bit to see. Okay, this is how it looks when the screen is scrolled. So for this demonstration, let's focus on the filter section. Now here for the filters, the first option that we see, delivery date, we can see that there is an improper single selection. Now, these options are single selection, but they are supported with checkbox, which is kind of improper, and it can make user think that this is a multi-selection option. So this adds to users' memory that they need to remember that this is a single selection and not multi-selection, which adds Nielsen Norman's 6 heuristic recognition over recall. Similarly, we can see over here that along with delivery day, even discount is a single selection option, but they are not supported with any supporting icon or any supporting element. But here they are supported with the checkboxes, which again gives us another heuristic, which is consistency and standard. Uh, and again, feel free to add in or loop multiple usability heuristics on multiple laws and principles while you're identifying any issues. Now, moving on to another issue that could be seen over here is this undiscoverable clear action. So, uh, before this filter is applied, there are no clear option, and when the filter is applied, this clear option unexpectedly appears in between the list, making it unclear and undiscoverable, which adds a principle of discoverability. And even this also, here also user need to keep it in memory that the clear option will appear in between the list, And as we have seen that there is too much to look at in the filter list as well, the user need to keep it, even when they are looking at the applied filter, they need to keep it in memory that which of the filters they have applied. So that also adds recognition over recall from here. Now, if you also look into another thing in the discount filter, which is this applied filter, it can be hard to spot because of the subtle visual cue that is present over here, which is also similar to some of the headings as well as filters that are present. It is hard to spot, which adds in visual anchor. And another thing is that due to this subtle visual cue, it is uh, it is not actively giving us the proper feedback of the applied filter. So that adds visibility of system status that was mentioned earlier. Now there is also spark effect. So before explaining about spark effect, does anyone have any idea about what spark effect is? Feel free to unmute yourself to respond or comment.
It's not when you burst crackers, just FYI.
Yeah.
I think Adu, you'll have to take it up.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So, a spark effect is when users are need to make additional effort. Is something which called spark effect, because users usually adapts to the functions which where they need to make less effort. So that's add over here the spark effect, because when they're looking at the whole filter section, they need to carefully look at each of the filter categories to identify the applied filter. So now that we have identified these issues and mapped them with the heuristics, let's also assign severity. So for this, the first one, improper single selection, we'll add it a severe severity, because this is something which adds to users learning curve. And even for a discount, we'll add it as severe, because again this is something which adds to users learning curve, and it also takes users time to identify the clear action. And to the applied filter, we'll add it as minor, because this is something which can be quickly fixed through minor changes. So this is how, like, you can align the severity level. And let's say we had also done some analysis over here, and let's say we had found out that the average engagement time for processing with filter options was recorded to be around 2 to 3 minutes, but ideally it should be around 30 seconds to 1 minute. So you could reference such relevant analytical data with all of your observations, so that it will help you communicate and help even the team understand that how badly or how effective these issues are, and how badly, they are also uh, how badly they are also creating, like, affecting the user experience. And there are also other ways to identify usability issues when there is a time crunch. For example, user testing with a focus group. So basically here you can create a focus group, and you can give them some of the tasks which are in your scope of audit, and you can observe them while they are doing all of those tasks. And another way could be user surveys and feedbacks, where you conduct a quantitative survey or qualitative survey to help understand users friction point, or basically for some quick fixes and to get going. And another could also be user interviews. So you can take some user interviews with some of your active users, which will help you uncover some friction points in the journey. And once you are done with the audit, make sure to summarize it with the key takeaways to help the team or the clients understand about the overall perspective of the audit. Now, again, once the audit is completed, you can document the audit thoroughly while keeping it consistent with your brand's tone and format. And this is one of the ways that you could document the audit, where you like add a flow name or page name and add reference relevant screenshots that you have captured to highlight them some issues or your observations that you present over here. And wherever possible, try to support it with the analytical data, so that it can help you and the team identify that okay, this is like a minor one, or this is impacting the user's flow a lot. And if you can also assign a severity level on the overall flow or page, which will help you discover that which are some of the catastrophic pages or flows that need the attention immediately, or which are some of the minor pages or flows that can be quickly taken and fixed right away. Even the numbers that you look over here can at the last help you understand that what are the total number of catastrophic issues, what are the total number of severe issues or minor issues. And you might be wondering that in all of this, why we are mapping usability heuristics. So, mapping the observations with usability heuristics helps us understand that which of the laws and principles are mostly getting violated. And even numbering over here helps us understand that from all of those violations, which are some of the top laws and heuristics that are getting violated. So yeah, this is how like you can audit and document. And when it comes to delivery, connecting with the stakeholders directly and walking them through all of your observations and pinpointing the areas of improvement can leave a greater impact. Now that we know that how to conduct a UX audit, let's also look into how it benefits different personas. So different personas could be business, designers, as well as individuals. So to business, it helps in realizing the gaps and opportunities, as well as it also helps in uh, validating whether the product aligns with the business objectives as well as users' need. To designers, it audit helps in identifying the whole picture of the service, and it also helps in identifying the areas of improvements. And let's say if audit is a starting point uh, for connecting with the stakeholders, it can help you define the timeline and code as per the scope of improvement that is there. And if we talk about an individual, which can, like, there are a lot of people who also consider or wonder that how it helps an individual. So doing an audit for an individual for practice or knowledge can get to showcase their observation skills in portfolios as well as to the market. So now, with all of these insights about UX audit, I would like to end my session with one keynote, that performing a streamlined and informed UX audit with including in-depth research uh, and like competitive analysis, data analysis, usability auditing, and documenting it thoroughly can give you an impactful UX audit. So thank you everyone for staying tuned till now, and would like to open the session for Q&A round. Let's hear your thought about audit process, how you do it, or even if there are any other approaches that you new approaches that you found out through this session. So yeah, let's open the session for Q&A. You can feel free to unmute yourself or ask, and you can also drop your questions in the chat box. So, thank you. Hope this was an insightful session for all of you.